My name is Keith Lee. You guys know me on here as Death by the Fox. And I wanted to answer some questions today that my surface Navy buddies have about boat life. I'm currently active duty. I've been on a submarine. I don't know if I can say what submarine I'm currently on, but yeah. So just so you know, I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Um, so one of the main questions I get is what is boat life like? I'm a very tall man. I'm 6'7", so as you can imagine, it's very cramped. You get used to, like, if you're my height, having some minor back pain all the time. I get mine in my hips and near, like, the back of my shoulder blades. Um, yeah. Um, Question number two was, what's the schedule like? And you work, I think it's still 8 hour days. It just varies from boat to boat. So you'll do 3-6 or 3-8, which is either 6 hour shifts or 8 hour shifts. And you basically have your oncoming period, which is when you sleep. So you either sleep for 6 hours or you sleep for 8 hours. Then you have your watch period, which again is either for 6 hours or 8 hours. It depends on the boat. And then you have your offgoing, which is when you get shit done. Whether that's paperwork, laundry, and stuff like that. Um, so when you get to the boat, well, actually, let's rewind a little bit here. So when you enlist, right, then you go submarines, unless you're really lucky, um, and you have a recruiter who was in submarines, or a MEPS official who was in submarines, you're not going to know a lot going into it about what to expect. Um, so you start off going to MEPS and all that fun stuff. I don't know about you guys, but it took me about a month. You take your ASVAB, which is, I don't remember what ASVAB stands for because it's been like a year and a half since I took it. But yeah, so you have your ASVAB, you have your all that admin stuff that you have to do. They make you do a background check, and if you're going submarines, you have to fill out an SF-86 form. And if you're going into an IT position, you have another interview on top of your SF-86, which talks about which will get you your top secret. But in order to be on subs, you have to hold a secret clearance because there's a lot of information that's passed around once that hatch closes. But then you go through boot camp. You learn a lot in boot camp. You basically learn how to be a sailor, and then if you're going on the technological side, whether it's the SCCF rate or it used to be that SCCF and IT were two different things, right? But if you're going on a tech rate now, they've merged IT and radio, which I am a former radioman, but they merged the rates right when I finished day school about a few months ago. Yeah, so you go through all this. You go through boot camp. Boot camp sucks. I went through it before the coronavirus time, so I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask about, like, what was boot camp life during the coronavirus, like, because I don't know. I finished boot camp last November. I got out of boot camp as an SN, not because of, like, my in boot camp job or anything like that. It's just because I had former college. But yeah, if you're going through boot camp, the most cake job to have is laundry PO. Like, it sucks, but you can get out of doing a lot of shit if you're laundry PO because you can just hide in the laundry and be like, yeah, I was just doing laundry, you know. Getting beat, your division's getting beat. It's like, yeah, I was just doing laundry. So you have boot camp. When I went through, it was 8 weeks of absolute suck. It wasn't that it was, like, physically taxing. It was that it was emotionally taxing because you're cut off for 8 weeks from friends. You're cut off for 8 weeks from family. And it's kind of prepare you about when you're out on the boat. Well, I know for submarines especially, like, when you're out on the boat, you don't have cell signal. Your phone's turned off. Like, you can't bring your cell phone onto the boat with you. Well, you can. It's just you can't use it, right? Because it gives off a cell signal, and that violates the PED aspect of bringing in stuff right onto the boat. Um, but like it's boot camp kind of prepares you for being on your own, right? Like you're cut off from your friends and family. The only way you can contact them is through letters, and that's kind of like how it works nowadays, right? You're out in the middle of the ocean. You don't get a Wi-Fi signal. You don't get a cell signal. All you have is sailor mail, which is an email program that you send, and on the boat you send emails. It's screened, and then it's sent out, and then you get returned emails. Those are also screened before they're sent in. But yeah, so boot camp is basically preparing you how to be a sailor, and then you go to BEST, which is your basic enlisted submarine school. I got into BEST right when they rolled out the Virginia pipeline, which is the newest one. That's the one that's like super tough. Well, it was super tough when I went through because they're still trying to figure out how it all worked. But you can kind of familiar yourself with it if you look at the 688 pipeline, because it's kind of similar, I guess. But it's not really similar, actually. It's really different, but it'll get you familiar with the concept of, like, this is how submarines work. This is different things inside of the boat, and using that can be very helpful when you get out of your A school, and if you get on a 688, then you can kind of use that to help you learn catch-all terms, so you don't look like kind of a dumbass when you're going in. But yeah, so then you go through A school. I was one of the last radio classes, and that was interesting. It was really rushed, but I got the kind of shit end of the deal, so to speak, because I went in before the coronavirus happened, and then I got to experience all those freedoms in A school right as the lockdown hit in April. So that was a pain in the butt, but it was for the best, because you don't want the coronavirus. I've seen what that stuff does, and it's not good. Make sure you wear your mask when you can't social distance. Not to get preachy, but yeah. So that's kind of what it's like, right? Yeah. So another big question that's asked is, it's like, what are the quals like? I can't really delve into what the quals are like, but they're hard. The easiest way to get them done, though, is to get them done. That's why in BEST they give you a qual packet to earn your fucking Liberty status, right? Being able to wear civvy clothes out after your classes, right? It teaches you the process of learning how to ask for checkouts, learning how to kind of deal with a workload and your own workload at the same time, because like when you get to the boat, you're useless, right? Like, not to be rude or anything, but it's like when you get to the boat, you're useless. You're not qualified on anything. You don't know anything, and so the whole point of the qual packets and the check-in process is to teach you how to be how to be a submariner, right? And that's why you don't earn the status of submariner until after you get your fish. I'm still working on my qual packet, so I can't really say I'm a submariner yet. But yeah, so the whole purpose of when you get to the boat is you're directly replacing someone. So the culture on the boat is going to be very hostile. Well, not really hostile, but it's going to be very not forthcoming until you prove yourself, and you prove yourself by doing checkouts and becoming useful to the boat by filling in those watch stations, because you're the direct replacement to somebody leaving. The reason you're going on to that specific boat is because someone else ahead of you who's more senior is going off to shore duty, getting out of the Navy, whatever it may be. So there's kind of that pressure to get you to qualify really fast, and like if you're just sitting around not being useful, not studying, not learning, not doing checkouts, people are going to harp you because they're over there doing almost double the workload, maybe even triple the workload, depending on how strapped their duty section is, while you're just over there not doing anything because you can't do anything. So yeah, and then I don't know. I mean, If you guys want, I can talk to you about like my boot camp stories, about my A school stories, just tips in general for surviving in the sub world. As a guy who's currently going through it, who's currently brand new to it. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a rambly video, and there's a lot of different points covered. But if any of this was helpful, or if you guys have any more questions about like what life in the Navy is like, what life in subs is like, because my life as a submariner is vastly different from someone who's on surface Navy. Because there's a lot more stuff we can't really talk about. There's a lot more stuff that goes into it that makes it more difficult. Like, it's a smaller crew and all that, and everyone's more. It's much closer knit of a group, and you get really close with it. But if you guys have any questions, then I'll see if I can answer it. But yeah, so that was the video. If you guys want to see more Navy related stuff, I'll try to make it more exciting than just me sitting in my dorm like after work and just kind of rambling at my iPad. So but yeah, if you guys have more questions, let me know in the comments. Tell me what else you guys would like to see about Navy life, about sub life, and I'll see what I can talk about and go from there and try and answer some questions, and hopefully my future videos will be much more exciting than this. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed me rambling for a hot minute about the Navy. So goodbye.